So what a lot of tutorials won't tell you, and why I'm going to save you a lot of time, is because of... Hi there, my name is Angel, and today I want to show you how I've been using Cursor to build apps. This tutorial is for people like me who are non-technical but still somewhat tech savvy. Like, I'm not afraid to Google and learn new things. I'm by no means an expert. I've just been playing around with Cursor for a few weeks, so I wanted to share what I've learned along the way with others like me, so it saves you some time. This is still a really new tool, so if you have any tips and tricks, or if you notice that we're doing something that could be done more efficiently, do let us know in the comments below. This is the agenda for today. Feel free to jump to any section that you want. I'll also share my notes in the description. What is Cursor? Cursor is an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. Basically, it's a code editor, and it makes it way easier to code than traditional code editors because it's AI enabled. Some notable features is that Cursor can analyze your whole entire code base, and you can ask it to change multiple files at once. So you can now use everyday English to get the code to do what you want it to do. It's founded by MIT graduates and students in 2022, I believe. They recently raised a Series A round of $60 million, so they have plenty of cash on hand to make this tool even better in the future. I'm really excited about it because it's now easier than ever to build software, and it's really fun to do so. For those of you who are getting started, Cursor is free. They give you a free 14-day free trial. What we're going to do today is download and set up Cursor. We're going to create a project with Next.js for the front end and Firebase for the back end. You might be wondering what those terms mean, what it is. Next.js is basically a framework that's built on top of React, and basically it just makes it much easier to create modern website, and that's all you need to know. And the other thing is Firebase. Firebase is basically a Google product. It's like a suite of cloud-based tools that Google gives you to deploy your applications quickly and easily. Before, you have to set up your own servers and stuff, but with Firebase, they make everything much easier. With Next.js and Firebase, you can Google it to learn more if you want, but for our demonstration purpose, you could just follow along. I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks to using Cursor and what you can do to speed it up, what you can do to make your process less painful. Then we're going to learn by doing. We're just going to make a simple site today, but in future tutorials, we can make more elaborate applications. But for today, we're just going to make some simple site. And I'm just going to do it as I'm recording this, so I might mess up, but you can at least see the process of how I'm doing things. And lastly, I am going to close with some views on Cursor and share some other resources with you. So that's the agenda. We are going to first work on downloading and setting up Cursor. Here are the instructions. So you basically just go to cursor.com and click this download button. I already downloaded it, so I don't need to do it again, but what you need to do is install the app and create an account. So once you downloaded Cursor, when you open it, I think you get landed on like a tutorial page. And this is probably what it looks like. For a non-technical person, this could be scary. These are the panes. This is where you navigate through the files over here, and this is the actual code once you select it into a file. And this is the chat panel. And then up at the bottom, this is where you can access your terminal. You can access the output problems and any issues, errors over there. I'm just going to close it and go back to the home page and show you again what this would look like if you just open it up. You only have two options, like open a folder or open with SSH. And for somebody who's new to this, I did not know what to do. So no fear, we're going to do this together today. Following the instructions, we're going to go to the terminal, command space, and search for terminal. And this is your terminal. What you're going to do is you're going to follow these directions. You're going to do this. Basically, it's like making sure you're in the home directory. I am already in the home directory. So what you're going to do is you're going to do npx create next app at latest. You could also just copy and paste from what I have. They're saying that you need to install it, so I'm going to say yes. What is your project name? My project name, Stay Hungry, is my project name. And then I'm going to choose yes for using TypeScript, yes for CSS, Tailwind, and then a yes, and then yes for app router, and then no. So I'm just doing the kind of the default settings. They created a new Next.js app for me called Stay Hungry. The next step is type in your project name. So we're going to do CD in the terminal, Stay Hungry, which is my project name. So now I'm inside my project, and you can now do cursor dot to open up cursor. And so now you have all these pre-installed Next.js files in here, and you can get started. We're going to do some setting up. You can do Command-Shift-P to bring this up, and you want to search for install cursor command. I already did it. And then you can do Command-Shift-P again and search for Composer. Make sure you enable Composer. You can activate it with Command-I. If you Command-I, this is the Composer. Command-Shift-I, you can bring up this bigger Composer, but we will use it in a bit. And we're going to go back to the terminal and run this command. Command space bar to bring up the terminal, and npm run dev. What this is going to do is going to create a local host that we can see what we're building. And so you just have to copy this link. I'm just going to paste this website over here to go to localhost 3000, and you're going to see this Next.js file. We have successfully set up cursor to be ready for use.
Hi there, it's Angel here. I realized while recording that it was easier to combine these two sections together so that while I'm explaining the tips, I'm also showing you how to use cursor to build something. So now you will only see this one section over here.
Before we dive deep into building an app, there are a few tips that I wanted to share to make your life easier. What are some shortcuts that would be useful? And with my doc, I included a cheat sheet over here that you can use. And basically, Command-I is something very useful that I use a lot, but you can also chat with the whole code base through the chat panel. And here, I also included, hey, you can actually search the internet. You can actually reference something. So it would be good to take a look at these shortcuts. I think that as a non-technical person, you should use cursor along with other AI tools. You can use this in conjunction with Claude, ChatGPT, and you should think before you build something, because otherwise, if you change the flow midway, then your code gets messed up, and you have already generated a lot of files and you have to clean it up yourself, so that gets really messy. Also, I think one really good way to use Claude to do the front end and to get inspiration. The other tool that people use is V0. You can also check out V0 for the front end. But that's another tutorial. For today, I will walk you step through step on how I'm doing this. Next tip is like reverting changes. I don't know if you've set up Git already, but if you have not, you actually should set up Git. What you need to do is bring up your terminal again. And by the way, because this is running my local server, so you need to open up a new window to be able to go back, go cd, stay hungry, and then you can check out the Git version. So you're going to do Git version to see if you already have Git installed. I already have it because I think I installed Xcode a while back, but if you did not, by typing in that, you can just follow the directions and install it. In Cursor, you can create a new branch. So for any changes that you make, you can revert it. You open up this thing, and then there's this right here where you can create a new branch. I'm just going to create a new branch called 0.0 and then input it in there. And you see here, this is where the AI chat is, that you could chat with the entire code base. So for example, if I ask, can you make me a simple to-do list, and I do Command Enter, and it's gonna say, okay, yes, first do this, and then now to use this, you gotta do this, and it's gonna give you instructions. I'm going to ask them, can you implement it for me? And then Command Enter. See how I chatted with it? So I asked it to do this for me, but it didn't do it for me.
In the AI chat, it's going to give you step-by-step instructions, like what Claude would do, because this is powered by Claude. And it's going to ask you to create a file called this under this directory, and then you would want to hit apply. to apply that code. But for the non-technical person, this is still a lot of steps. You have to be careful not to make mistakes.
For somebody that's non-technical like me, this is not easy. It's not something that I think would be made for everyday person like me. So what a lot of tutorials won't tell you, and why I'm going to save you a lot of time, is because of this composer. So right here, Command I, and I brought up this window over here, and this is a really key window. I'm going to type it the same instructions that I have, and I'm going to say, please implement it for me. With the composer, I believe that it will actually do what I want. And I'm just going to add the page in there. I'm going to give it a little bit more context by telling it I'm using Next.js. Okay, I'm just going to input it and see what it does. With the composer, it actually edits your file, whereas here you're just chatting with it. They're teaching you how to do it. With the composer, they're literally doing it for you. So that's why if there's one thing you learn from this video, you really need to know this one. And so I'm just going to accept all. Because we already have the server set up, you should be able to see it in localhost 3000. Hit refresh. I don't know if you noticed, but it changed. So you can add a new task, and I'm saying, hello, add. Can I add? It's not adding, right? So now what do you do? So now I'm going to go back to cursor, and I'm going to give it a command to fix the bug, right? It's going to fix it for me. Okay, so accept all. And then now I'm going to go back here and see what happens. Hello. Oh, now it's showing up, but I'm going to tell it to restyle my website. Okay, I'm going to be like, get rid of the Next.js logo and replace it with Stay Hungry. Now it's doing that for me. I'm going to accept all, and now it became Stay Hungry. I think this is so easy to do, but people don't know the one feature because I don't think they advertise it a lot, and you actually have to do a lot of digging to figure out how to do that in Cursor. Because if you just chat, they're going to make you do all these things. You have to edit it yourself. It's not easy. For example, if I tell it, change the color scheme of my projects so it's white background. Can you change it for me? It's like more complex. They will still do it, but you have to do it step by step. Except, let's see what it looks like now. Hey, it's not white background. This is like a debugging process. It's not doing anything. Whereas the composer is so much easier to get things you want done. I'm going to ask it, can you make my app white background and with black font? I'm going to just accept all and see how the composer just did it for me. Now I'm going to test. I'm going to do apples. I'm going to do homework. I'm just listing random things, and you can remove. So again, I think this chat panel is not as useful as Command I if you're non-technical, which is this panel. And the composer, you can actually do Command Shift I, and you can open the composer with the previous changes, and you can see what the difference is in the code for easier debugging. So now you build an app. It's just so easy to do, and you don't even need a backend to do this. That's the first thing. Remember previously we created a branch and we made these changes. I want to get rid of all these changes. I don't want to commit them. I just want to discard all the changes because I didn't like the site. I didn't like what we did. So I'm going to discard all the files. This should revert back to before I made all the edits. So I'm going to refresh and see what it looks like. Yeah, we're back to the old page. So that's how you can use Cursor to revert the changes that you did. So if you did something that you didn't like, you can revert it because it's going to be very frequent. The AI might not get exactly what you want right. Now that we reverted the changes, I'm going to clear the history, reset composer. So now everything is back to before. You want to keep a note-taking page nearby to store the goal and the flow of your app, key prompts, tech stack. Here's one template that I use. Basically, you just want to be clear about what it is that you're building, why. So then you don't go back and forth making changes. That will save you a lot of time, and you want the AI to know your tech stack and what your preferences are, so then it make changes the way you want it to. Next is using a copy and paste tool to make your life easier or set rules for AI. To set rules for AI, go to cursor, preferences, cursor setting, and then over here you can input what it is that you want in there. By now, what you have seen is that we are able to, with a few commands, make your own website that you want, that you design, and you can work with the composer to fix it, to fine-tune it. I hope today's tutorial helped you kickstart your journey to building with the Cursor Composer. On closing though, I think I do want to share some viewpoints on Cursor for now, and I think that Cursor is great for software engineers to increase efficiency with AI's help. For non-technical people, I think Cursor is not perfect yet. It doesn't quite get you exactly what you want. You have to learn prompt engineering better, and you need to like tweak how you ask questions. Maybe if it's a static page like what we built today, it's not a big deal. But if you are building more complex application, it's going to take a lot of work. You'll need to make tweaks and keep trying and tweaking. But I do think that it can serve as a really good motivator for people to start learning coding and getting into it, because you can see your idea come to life 70 or 80% of the way. You just need to arm yourself up with some fundamentals and then learn by doing it. It's why I'm building apps. Even though I'm not an engineer, I am starting to learn how to code more. 10 years ago, I didn't know how to do CSS, HTML, JavaScript. And before, it used to take me like a whole week to code up like a simple page, but now with Cursor you can do it with just a few commands. I think it's also very frustrating sometimes when you can't get quite what you want, and it's easy to give up them, but just don't give up and keep trying and pushing through and keep working on it. It will still take time, but it's actually very fun. It's a very rewarding journey in which you can see the product that you've designed and dreamed up come to life. If you enjoyed this video and if it helped you, please give me a like and go to my Twitter or something to vote on what I should talk about next. Lastly, I just want to share some other resources. There's a Cursor Discord that you can join to ask for help, and then you can also look through Cursor's doc, so then you can learn more about using Cursor. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.